Basin mixer tap. I'm going to change this, it's very stiff, and put a new waste kit in here. A disclaimer before you start watching this movie: for anyone who suffers from male pattern baldness, you may find some of the scenes in this movie offensive. So I do apologise for any hair that may be caught on camera.
Here we go, I'll get these isolated. Just going to pop the flexes off. Here we go. These are on 3/8 flexes. Just going to undo these with an adjustable spanner, both sides. Should come off easy enough. Yeah, there we go. And then usually once you've undone the nut, you can just do the rest with your fingers. Just going to take off the trap. This is an adjustable trap, so I'm loosening the bottom nut before I take the top nut off. And then the top nut will just unscrew with your hands. There we go. Oh, look at that. Someone's lost their tooth in this in here. I'm just going to take the pop-up waste. I've got here. Save that for later. Stick it on my head. Take this pop-up waste off now, so I can unscrew the waste kit. Don't really see much of these anymore, but the pop-up waste would be on a lever that goes through the back of the basin mixer tap, and then you pull that lever up and down to operate the plug on the waste kit. But we're seeing more and more of the click-clap waste now that you can just push open or closed. It's a bit old-fashioned, the old click these pop-up wastes. There we go, get rid of that. Throw that in the scrap bag. Right, so Nerad tap kit. I'm not sure if anybody's seen this, but I highly recommend one. If you do fit taps on a regular basis, then I would definitely recommend getting one of these. They've got these deep sockets, so they can go up over the back nut, get into tight spaces with extendable arms, and they just make it much easier to remove and install any tap really. This is like this is what I used to use, tube spanners. So if you're a DIYer and you only do this on every now and again, then the tube spanners are probably better for you. But if you're changing taps on a regular basis, then I would highly recommend getting one of these Nerad tap spanners, which I will link in the description below. Just make light work of it. It's always difficult to remove the taps because of the access, but you know, these tap spanners get into tight spaces, so just make it a little easier. So there we go, that thread's come completely out of the tap now, so I'm in a position to pull the tap out. Go, pull one, then the other. Give it a bit of a spruce. So, magic. Flexes, these just need to be hand tight. They seal on an O-ring, so you don't have to add PTFE, you don't have to over tighten, you just do it hand tight like that. Once it comes to a natural stop, then it will seal. Trying to get you to, I was hoping that you might be able to see this going in, but because the connections are deep inside the tap, it's difficult to show you on camera, but you'll get the gist of it, I'm sure. It's quite easy. I'm just checking the size of the nut required for the new tap. Right, so one flexi then the other. You won't get them both through at the same time, but if you put one through then the other you will. These half crescent back nuts are fantastic. They don't always work, but when they do, they make the job much easier. If you just put one half in underneath the basin and then turn the tap, will ease it around until it pops under the sink. So it just makes it a little less fiddly. You're not trying to put that washer and back nut on from below. All we need to do now is tighten that up and the tap is installed. So do this finger tight initially. Well, that tap spanner in. There we go, it's just tightening up bit by bit. You just want to get to a point where the tap above doesn't move. That's the idea. You might feel like it's tightening up, but if there's movement in your tap, then you want to keep tightening it until that movement stops. Right, so the old tap was on 3/8 thread, so I'm going to put some new isolation valves on, and I'm filing down the edge of the isolation valve to take off any sharp edge so that the rubber from the flexi will seal on that flat edge now. Be super careful when tightening these up, because we don't want to pierce that flat rubber washer. You see these fittings here with 3/8 before. So we're going to chop these out, put the new isolation valves on, and that way the flexes will fit, but also there's some new isolation valves for the basin for future reference. Isolation valves are very cheap. You can pick up a pack of 10 from Screwfix, I think for like £10–12, so it's always worth having them. Put your nut and olive on first, add a bit of paste or PTFE if you don't have the paste, just helps seal the joint. And put your valve on, tighten your nut up, the job's good in. See the difference in thread size. The previous tap was on a smaller thread. You see it will not fit. Too small for the new tap, so it's always worth bearing in mind what size thread your new tap comes with. 99 times out of 100 it will come with flexes, so just check your thread sizes and make sure you've got the right fitting. These just want to be hand tight with a very, very, very slight nip with the spanner. So you want to make sure that flat rubber washer inside the flexi is not damaged. It's easily done. Right, time to get this bloody thing out now. Eases out nicely with a pair of grips. Turn it anti-clockwise. There we go, some more hair for my wig. There we go. Lovely. Look at that. That cleaned up. It's a new basin waste kit. It's a click-clack way, so you just push it down to close it and push it again to open it up. Always run a small bead of silicone around the bottom washer. That way it just helps it seal. It's a belt and braces approach. You want to make sure that you get this first time. Put that in there, and then I want to bead the silicone around the bottom edge before putting the washer on and tightening it up. It's always quite difficult to get in at the back edge, so always pile a bit more silicone towards the back, and then you can run it in to that joint at the back that you miss. I'll feed it in. You find if you don't use the silicone or any sort of jointing compound here, and you just rely on the washers, the water will seep between the threads and your waste kit will leak. So it's always a sensible thing to do by using either plumber's mate or silicone or whatever you prefer using, really, but some sort of joining compound will do it too. And just clean off your excess. Again, clean it off from above. Nice and shiny. Oh, I feel this thing. Finally put this thing back together. Put the trap back on. Put my beautiful face. There we go. All good. Tap flowing. No leaks. Happy days. Lovely job.